Hey guys, Little for Life here with another deck profile for you guys. This time around it is Infernoid. I've been testing this deck out quite a bit. I am loving it. It's really fun. It requires quite a bit of micromanaging to play effectively. One thing that I do want to say is that this deck is it's so weird. That's all I gotta really say about it. One other thing that I do want to say before I get onto the deck profile is that they all pretty much have the same effects. You cannot normal summon them. You have to special summon them by banishing another Infernoid from your hand or graveyard, or the field if you have the field spell out. And they all, pretty much almost all of them have the same effect where you contribute another monster or themselves to banish a card in your opponent's graveyard. Now then, with that being said, the level 7 and higher ones require 3 monsters to be banished to summon them. The level 5 and 6 require 2, and the level 4 and lower require 1. And it is because of this that this deck burns through resources incredibly fast. And now then, I'm going to actually get on with the deck profile and tell you about it. Nehemoth, he's your main boss monster, requires 3 to banish to summon him. You can summon him from hand or grave. Whenever he's summoned, destroy all other monsters on the field. He's basically a Garunix, except a bit better in my opinion because he's stronger. He also allows you to tribute another monster to negate the activation of a spell or trap effect. Not the actual card, but the effect. So you can actually negate spells and traps normally, but it also allows you to stop activated effects of cards that are already on the field, like Qliphorts Tool. 3 fail. 3 as well, just like Nehemoth. Hand or grave. If he attacks or is attacked, you can banish a card on the field at the end of the battle phase. And once per turn, during either player's turn, you contribute a monster to banish a card in your opponent's graveyard. Really, really good. Did I say in the grave for the battle effect? Battle phase for the battle phase effect, he can banish any card on the field. He's just good. For most of these, you want to play 3 of them because of the simple fact that they have Infernoid in their name. You need those names to be able to summon other Infernoids. Okay, and sometimes you'll have to banish something that you don't want to, like a Nehemoth. You almost never want to do that. I have 3 Asmodai. I know the picture is a Dramalek for some reason. I guess Devpro got it mixed up. Asmodai, you banish 2. He can be summoned from hand or grave. I believe he can. Yeah, from hand or grave. Whenever he inflicts damage, by battling an opponent's monster, I should say as well. You can send 1 random card from your opponent's grave, from your opponent's hand to the grave. And I don't know his tributing effect because it gets cut off. So I'm sorry about that, guys. Next up is Astronaut. Banish 1 Infernoid from hand or grave to summon him from the hand. He cannot be summoned from the grave. The level 4 or lower ones cannot be summoned from the grave. And he can basically target a spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. He also has the tributing effect to banish a card in your opponent's grave. I'm not going to mention that anymore because from here on out, all the Infernoids have it. Necroface, because you banish a lot, and this deck runs out of resources really, really fast. You need some way to recycle those resources. 3 Lucifugus, whatever. Banish a dude, summon him, pop a monster. That's what he does. One other thing that I should mention is that Astronaut and Lucifugus cannot attack the turn they use their popping effects. Still pretty good though. 2 Torbus to the Forbidden Realms. This card searches out any of your Infernoids. I've been flip-flopping between 2 and 3. Right now I've been playing 2. It's been working pretty well. You can play 3 if you want to, though. And then 3 Beel's Bull. Basically the same thing as the others. And he can target any face-up card your opponent controls and bounce it. He's also, strangely enough, the only one with 0 attack and a high-level defense. Still pretty cool. Excuse me. Now, on to the spells. Regeki, Dark Hole, Terraforming. The field spell is key to this deck. Fool's Burial. You need to get your resources in the grave. 2 MST. Burial from a different dimension to recycle your resources that have been banished. 2 Field Barrier to protect the field spell. It's also pretty funny to activate it against something that relies heavily on field spells, like Harpies, I'm trying to think of another field spell reliant deck, like Chronomaly. Then on to the field spell. Overflowing Purgatory. During each of your standby phases, you can spell summon one Infernoid token. Fire, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, fiend type. If you would spell summon an Infernoid by its own effect, you can banish Infernoids on your field. And Infernoid monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects or attacks except for the highest level Infernoid monster. Basically what this means is that your highest level, your Infernoid, or in other words your strongest, becomes a lightning rod for your opponent's attacks and card effects. Okay? That's all they can target. They can't target any of your other ones, and they can't even attack them. This is really, really useful because then that way you can summon, I don't know, Astronaut and Lucifugus and then summon out Fail, and then attack with Fail, but however, use Lucifugus and Astronaut's effect to control the board. It's really, really good. Now onto Deep Prison. Sorry, now onto my trap cards. I play 5 of them, 2 Deep Prison and 3 Awakened Purgatory. Basically what this is, it's a double Force Burial for the deck. It sends 1 or 2 Infernoids from your deck to the graveyard during each of your standby phases. I wish this was a once per turn during either player's turn effect or something like that. Okay, if Awakened Purgatory and Overflowing Purgatory were anything other than just during your standby phases, they'd be so much better. But, however, Awakened Purgatory speeds the deck up by an incredible amount. This deck uses up its resources so incredibly fast that you need to get more of them in the grave, and you need Necroface to get them back into the deck so you can dump them back into the grave and do it again. That being said, if you really have to do this twice, like to where you actually have to because you're completely out of cards, then I don't know what you're doing against, because that must be a really, really long, dragged-out duel. Now, for the extra deck, you almost never go into it, mostly because you don't need to. The few times that I do, it's usually whenever I have Lucifugus out and a Torbus, or if I have 2 Lucifugus out and I've used both of their effects and then I overlay for something. Same thing for Astronaut. That being said, it's really up to you. This is kind of just what my personal opinion is. Gotchi, Fortune Tune, Semains, Engineer, Alucard, Arrow Shark, because you banish a lot, and I figure, hey, detaching for 1,000 damage isn't that bad. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, Maestro, Castel, 101, 50, 103, 61, 11, and then Drakosek. You almost, as I said, you almost never go into this. You can almost play the deck without it, but it's still pretty useful. One thing that I should mention that I almost forgot about is that all the Infernoids, they cannot be summoned if the combined levels and ranks of all effect monsters you control is 8 or more. Sorry, more than 8. Okay, they cannot be summoned unless you have monsters that are combined 8 or less. Okay, so I think you can actually summon something while you're under a Drama, because if I'm correct, he's a level 8. Yeah. Does he have level 9? No, he's an 8. Okay. But yeah, we don't have a Dramalek for some reason. Oh, and by the way, this is not my actual side. These are 2 cards that you can play in the deck and aren't actually that bad. First one is Ultimate Baseball Kid. He gains 1,000 attack for each other fire attribute monster on the field. And by sending a fire monster other than this card to the graveyard, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. He's great for ending games. He's also great for just being a beater. You can summon out Lucifugus, Astaroth, and I don't know, Fail something. You know, just summon out a bunch of Infernoids, normal summon him. You got a 4,000 beater. He's not that bad. And then you can burn on your opponent for 2,000 at the end, like main phase 2. And then Goblin King, while you control another Infernoid, while you control another Fiend type monster, this card cannot be attacked, and he gains 1,000 attack and defense times the number of Fiend type monsters on the field, excluding him. So yeah, he's an optional like mini boss monster, and since he's level 1, you don't have to really worry about the levels too much. Same thing with Ultimate Baseball Kid, except he's a level 3. Now then, guys, that is the deck profile. That is my this is my personal build. I've played like 2 or 3 different versions of the deck. If you're thinking about running Last Turn, I personally would advise against it, but you can play it. I don't really recommend it though. Also, you'll notice that I try to keep as many Infernoids in here as possible. It's because, as I said, this deck uses up its resources very, very, very fast. Okay, so you need to have as many names as possible in order to keep summoning out your monsters. Because if you can't summon out your monsters, you're not going to win. Now then, guys, that was the deck. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're just as excited for this deck as I am. I've heard that a drama deck is actually an OCG exclusive. Because he's like 93 or something like that on the numbers thing. Or was he 83? I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day. I think I already said that. Bye.